Descendant from gnomes, this curious race emerged after the Great Cataclysm, having been transformed by something they'd experienced while deep underground. Where gnomes are the world's greatest engineers and researchers, deep gnomes are the preeminent meta-scientists and explorers of the worlds beyond. The curiosity of deep gnomes is relentless, and they are fearless in venturing where others wouldn't dare. While deep gnomes make it a point to mingle with other races, they are only interested in doing so if it furthers their research. Unlike their surface cousins, deep gnomes do not seek to understand the truths of the universe, but rather those of the multiverse. They became the deep divers of the dreamscapes, explorers of the astral planes, and spelunkers of the spirals. And the more they learned, the more pressing their desire became to return to the surface. These enigmatic, dark reflections of their dwarven cousins are believed to originate from the same Titan's blood. The stories of the deep dwarves' origins, often told to frighten dwarven children before bed, speak of the blood of life flowing into the darkest crevices of the deep regions below Ethereal. It was there, amongst corrupted stone, that the first of the deep dwarves took form. However, the deep dwarves' relentless drive to collect spirits and trap them in their creations lead many to think that they are but trapped spirits themselves. Perhaps the Titan's blood encountered something more than corrupted stone in those dark crevasses, where the separation between realities can be so thin. The deep dwarves are a calculating, methodical race. They tirelessly reshape the deep with cold precision and incredible skill. They not only carve and shape the stone, but breathe life into strange creations that assist them in their efforts. The insidious strategists see Aether and its fonts of life as something to exploit and conquer, and their steady, plodding determination is matched only by their stony strength. The Cylindrine, or High Elves as they are commonly called, are tall, beautiful, almost otherworldly beings. Their powerful physiques, innate grasp of magic, and calm, calculated demeanor further feed into this sense of otherworldliness. They embrace this perception and lean into this sense of superiority. Purity is another common theme amongst the High Elves, as they consider themselves to be the only uncorrupted remnants of the great Calafri conglomerate, an elven empire that once spanned much of Aetheral's western seaboard. As the last of their kind who follow strict religious doctrines, the High Elves are notoriously insular and one of the least welcoming of the civilized races on Aetheril. It doesn't help that their sense of superiority is often reinforced when the quality of their craftsmanship, magic, and military prowess is tested. However, in recent years, a growing faction within their ranks has pushed for greater diplomacy and increased collaboration with potential allies. And now, this infighting has begun to manifest as more than just raucous debate. As the longest-lived of the civilized races of Aetheril, the infighting may take some time to play out, for the High Elves' plans can take centuries to unfold. The Feliwin, or Wood Elves, as they are more commonly called, once resembled their High Elf cousins. Today, these keepers of Aetheril's great forests no longer appear as the elves they once were. Having been denied shelter from the Great Cataclysm by the Cylindrine, the Felewin were spared when the Fae of the branch interceded. Unfortunately, all deals with the Fae come at a considerable price. When this new generation of elves returned from the Umbra, they found that they were born of two worlds, but belonged to neither. While reclusive and cautious, the Wood Elves are fair and hospitable. They are highly attuned to nature and share a special relationship with both the flora and fauna of the great wooded hills. Their preservers and ardent keepers maintain watch of the forests they've worked for centuries to rebuild. Their druids quickly travel the world via natural waygates, and their lambent wanderers, a collection of Filoween bards and traders, roam the lands of Aetheril to conduct trade and diplomacy, spread their lore, and gain knowledge of the world beyond their woods. At home, the Wood Elves are monitoring the increasing growth of cults dedicated to the Fae of the Branch, who seek to return their people and potentially even their lands back to the realm of the Fae. While almost eradicated as a people during the wars following the collapse of the Calafri conglomerate, it's believed that the Aeltrist are now the most prolific elven race. Once vanquished, banished, and hunted, these elves fled deep underground. It is here that they first heard the Shadow's voice. Having been warned by the shadow of the impending calamity that burned bright in the heavens, the Aeltrist descended further into the shelter of the deep. There they found a thriving ecosystem and adapted to the darkest depths of Ether's corrupt underbelly. And it's there that they learned to subjugate even the most demonic of forces. Or as their appearance and collective ethos began to transform, perhaps they merely learned to coexist with the power they sought to control. In the years that followed, the Aeltrist have claimed the title of Masters of the Deep and proven to be formidable against the armies of the surface world. They've reclaimed the ruins of the city from which they were driven by the Cylindrane so long ago. And now, deep below, rests the great capital city of the underworld, in which the Aeltrist scheme and the Shadow listens. It's believed that trolls appeared on Ether during the first invasions of the Spiral Lords. After cutting a swath across Ether, they emancipated themselves from their masters and melted away into the swamps, crags, and caves that served them so well as hunting grounds. Millennia of war and catastrophes have tested and tempered them to become ultimate survivors. No race on Ether has the physical resilience, natural adaptability, or cunning of trolls. They are self-serving and distrustful of everyone, including other trolls. They are cruel, calculating, and predatory, motivated only by power, self-interest, and survival. Above all, trolls value their independence. They bow only to power surpassing their own, but even then. That's what poisons are for. Trolls are supremely crafty hunters, trappers, and survivalists. This is not just out of necessity, but out of an innate sense of purpose. As such, the more ambitious and crafty of their lot have made their way out of the swamps and into the employment of those seeking only the most vicious bounty hunter, assassin, or beguiler. Trolls may be found throughout Ithoriel, but they are not always welcomed, and they're always watched closely.